So what we have discussed about the business analytics study, the different statistical model, the different predictive models, descriptive analytics, prescriptive analytics, predictive analytics, right? So basically, most of the times we used some topics of the data mining, business intelligence, big data, business analytics interchangeably, and there are some times where we can see there are some specificity also into the different analytics model. So I will start with the briefly discuss whenever we say business analytics, it is basically the tools to explore past data to gain insight into the future decision making. So through the statistical model, through the mathematical model, whatever the different statistical technique available to us, kind of regression analysis, decision tree, uh, some simple summary statistics. Based on the past data, we are trying to do some kind of statistical modeling and try to predict the future outcomes. And once we will have a future outcome, then we have to do the some kind of prescription. What the optimum strategy, what is the best strategy we should have, and that is called prescriptive analytics. Before business analytics is comparatively a high maturity terms. Before that, we used to do some kind of dashboarding kind of thing, which is called business intelligence. So business intelligence is basically a tools and technique that's turn into data into meaningful information. So whenever we create some kind of tables, whenever we create some kind of dashboards, whenever we have to create some kind of matrix, whenever we have to create some kind of the visual representation like pie chart, bar chart, line chart, some bubble chart. So whenever we have the raw data, we have processed it and we are trying to summarize it either through in the forms of table or either through in the forms of the graphs. So that kind of information, that kind of the information processing is called the business intelligence. So business intelligence is not exactly analysis. Business intelligence is just the presentation of the data into the more insightful way. Big data, so whenever we deal with the smaller organization, the smaller set of the data or one set of the data, it is the different data set, kind of the demographic data set, sales data set, revenue data set. But once we are started assembling all the different data set from all the organizations, so our data set becoming large and large. So the big data refers to that set of the data which is quite complex, large, and we need additional data processing as well as the statistical methodology to deal with the different kind of the data which we have coming from the different organization, the different stream of the field. So on top of it, if we have a larger data, big data, the data sets which are coming from the different sets of the organization, different stream of the organization, once we have it, then we have to do some kind of extraction and we have to apply some kind of mining it. Mining, we usually, the data mining technique is basically what we have discussed yesterday, the cluster analysis, the principal component analysis, the classification problems. These all are the different data mining techniques where we used statistical methodology and artificial intelligence technique to basically extract the meaningful information from our raw data. So this is the the chart of the evolution of business intelligence, business analytics framework. So like we have discussed, we will have a raw data which is either coming from the survey or some kind of the database which your organization already have, some kind of the demographic profile data, some kind of revenue data, sales data. So that data is basically the raw data. Then you have to merge and clean the data, because the problem of the data is basically most of the time we will find there are lots of discrepancy, redundancy, error, mistakes, spelling mistakes, wrong date of birth, missing data, erroneous data. So that is one of the major challenges for the data analyst to clean the data. So we'll apply different statistical method and analytical method to clean the data, how we will get the clean data. Till the time we will not have a clean data, your information or analysis is going to be wrong. So that very basic terms, garbage in, garbage out. So if your data itself is not worthy or not clean, so your analysis and result will also bound to erroneous and inconsistent. So once you will apply the data cleaning methodology and technique on the raw data and you will sort the data into the more cleaner, more absolute forms, then you have to standardize the reports basically. So basically, if you have a 500 sets of data with the 50 lakhs customer ID of your bank, so you don't need to present all the data in one go. So you have to present your data in a very particular and a specific requirement. So for example, if I'm asking what is the sales pattern for the last 5 years, so you don't need to extract the all data from your database for last 50 years. So you have to only extract the data for last 5 years and only the sales data. You don't need to combine the reports, revenue data. You don't need to combine or top of it. You don't need to have you don't need to access the demographic profile data. You don't need to process for other stream of the data. So whenever we say a standard report is very well defined. A standard report based on the parameters which we are interested in as well as the time period which we are intended to. So the time frame and the parameters are very much important for the generation of the standard reports. And then based on this, you can generate the ad hoc reports, whatever the organizational requirement or your analytics requirement is it. So that is pretty much a basic descriptive analytics based on the raw and clean data, which we have already discussed. Descriptive analysis is basically the summary statistics and descriptive statistics of the data, which will be basically characterize and describe the nature of the data, right? Once you will have this basic information, descriptive analytics, then now you can proceed to the generative predictive analytics. Then you can apply some regression techniques, some forecasting technique, some different methodology, advanced statistical methodology to generate more meaningful information based on the data, based applying different statistical predictive models on your data. So then your analytics curve is getting mature over the period of time. So now you have a raw data, now you are reaching the clean data, standard reports, ad hoc reports, and now you are entering into the data analytics or statistical analytics mode, and here you are generating the predictive analytics mode. So basically, based on the past data, this will give you information what did happen in the past based on the historical data, and once you will start digging more and more into it and applying more sophisticated analytical methods, then you will proceed to the predictive modeling. This will tell you basically what will happen based on the historical information of the data. So whatever happened in the past, if